Despite my tone in the video, I did not enjoy what occurred. Okay, I'm lying. Maybe a little bit. Early Sunday morning. Booze, blues, and food make for strange bedfellows. So on shift at the Kingston Mines, I am headed as the director of security there. Meaning everyone, and I mean everyone, comes to me for this or that. Everyone counts on me for this and that. And they know when they come to me that I will deliver like the USPS, the United States Postal Service, through rain, sleet, hail, snow. I will be there. Let's just hope that I'm not delivering to you. During the shift, I was informed by another customer in attendance that there was some guy in the men's restroom harassing and or bothering people. Now, when I first heard that from the customer, my thought process was, what type of sexual depraved person would be bothering other men in the men's restroom? Because come on, how could a woman come to me and say there's a man bothering men in the men's room? So already my thought process was to handle this delicately, considering the, let's see, how can I put this? Considering what month it is. We're in the month of June. In June, there are a few holidays. One pertaining to this story, Pride Month. And unnatural and unnecessary, whatever you have it. With that in mind, I proceed. So now I go to investigate the complaint of the harassment in the men's restroom. By the time I get to the back of the area, by the time I get to the back of the house, the described male is no longer in the men's restroom. He is now by the kitchen area. And I observe him screaming, hollering, spitting, touching other males in attendance. He has, of course, a bottle of beer in his hand. And the person that he's talking to or screaming at while spitting all over him is nodding in agreeance, but had the body language of an agitated person. So the complaint was valid and verified. Now at this point, Me being an individual whom is solution based, began to formulate a plan of attack, but not literally, at least not yet. So he's screaming at the guy's smiling, but he's really not comfortable. And the guy is kind of like, okay, yeah, whatever. Get out of my face. If I gotta shake your hand, if I gotta dap you up to get you out of my face, then that's what I'll do to get you out of my face, because I'm not here to be harassed. I'm here to hear some blues, eat some food, and drink some booze. And so that verified interaction proceeded. Now, the same irritant of a person is now working the back of the room. He is hopping in the face of damn near every male that's in view sight, whom will entertain whatever issues that he was having. And different males did different things, but they all had one thing in common. They were there to enjoy themselves and not be harassed, and they showed it in their body language. After things has been verified, I was then called to the front door to relieve another employee. Accepting cash and processing the patrons who were paid, including the stamping of the hand, which ensures that you can get in and out and go in and out all night without molestation. No pun intended. And so, two gentlemen exits the building. Exits the building to smoke, because of course you cannot smoke inside. And as I hear the door open, I look while I'm processing the patron's entry, and lo and behold, it's the male, I'll call him stalker, with another dude, and they're smoking. The molester and his buddy go to smoke, to the smoke area, and the molester approaches me while I'm processing other customers. So imagine this. You're a bouncer at a club somewhere, and some drunk dude with a lit cigarette, violating the 15 feet policy, smoking, in front of the door, he's already in violation. Strike one. He's now beginning to get in your face. Slurred speech. And he's now in your personal space. And you're telling him, as I was telling him, back up, go on about your business. Back up, go on about your business. Back up, Go on about your business. And he's constantly, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you know. And so, after a while, he finally goes away to the left, which would be towards the middle and or end of the line where the crowd is awaiting entry. Then all of a sudden he reappears and now he's back in my face again. And he's talking more shit and bigger shit. Because my 3 warnings was not enough for him to get the fuck on, to get on out of my face. And enjoy his high or his buzz that he was floating on. So, I back up a step. He steps up a step. Remember now, I'm still processing customers while this is occurring. So, there are people coming in and out behind me through the double doors. I'm backing up, risking getting hit from the back by 2 swinging double doors while processing the crowd to get in the double doors while this dude with a cigarette is constantly in my personal space looking for and ultimately got what he sought. And so then I back up one more time, remembering if I keep going, I'll end up with a rear concussion in the back of my head from the swinging doors if I allow this to occur. And as I step back a second time, he steps up a second time. After processing the next 2 or 3 customers, and there was a small space available to now deal with Mr. Molester. So I say one more time to back up and go on about his business. He do not. He levels up his tone of voice. And so my huge hand ended up around his neck as I thrusted him. Wrong term. Let's that's the hella wrong term. As I projected him, pushed him by the neck into a parked vehicle. At this point, his head is pinned against the vehicle, and now I'm screaming at him, stating, I told you to back the fuck up and go on about your business, but you didn't want to listen. And as I go to release him, his arm, his shoulder, his elbow begin to raise. And we all know when the arm, shoulder, and elbow begin to raise, that somebody's getting ready to swing. At least that's how I seen it. Because you see, let me ask you, have you seen, there's a movie by the name of Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. in it, where he could see what was going to happen before it happened, formulate a plan of attack, and in the interest of protection, and it actually happened the way that he laid it out. Or Blood and Bone, the fight movie, where he could see and recognize little tales in people's, demeanor, their body demeanor and body language. And he would counterattack before the attack. And so this guy, arm, shoulder, and elbow gets to moving. And at that point, I know he's about to swing because now I have him against the neck. And now he wants to retaliate. But before he can get his hand up and fully cocked back, before I know it, my man was on the ground, forehead, nose, and mouth fully bloodied from my one blow. Of protection, by the way. Of protection, by the way. Of protection, by the way. So now, this drunk individual, this drunk character, has now had a dose of, I told you to back the fuck up, instant sober you up. Damn, you got knocked the fuck out. Reality that Rasta has dished out to him. Now he's stunned as he's laying on the ground, tapping his face to see where and how much blood is pouring from his face from the blow of protection. Now, of course, pride and ego kicks in. Now he wants to get tough and even rougher because he has been emasculated in front of not only men, women as well. At this point, word got around that one of the guards has banged a dude, has dotted my man's eye, both physical and metaphorically, and crossed his motherfucking T's. And so now backup arrives. The owner, one of the owners arrive to find out what occurred. At this time, even though I had to put the hammer to somebody's head via my fist, I'm cool as a cucumber, and I'm still processing the remaining of the customers who are now stunned at what just occurred and how cool I am afterwards. Crazy thing was, they were commending me for what I did. They were all witnesses to what occurred from the beginning to the end, and high fives and daps were in order. But I didn't do it for high fives and daps. I did it for the protection of the rest of the customers and the protection of self. Especially when I've warned you many times about my personal space. So now the owner is getting his side of the story. Then he comes to get my side of the story. And once again, remember, I'm still processing people as this is all occurring. Once it was determined that I was in the right and he was in the wrong, the evening went on. The moral of the story is, leave Rasta alone. Rasta does look intimidating, but I don't bother nobody. I mind my business, and hopefully you mind yours as well. But when you poke the bear with the stick, when you poke the lion with the stick, make sure that the motherfucking cage is securely locked. Otherwise, you will be posterized in a Debo Craig from Friday moment. And that's the reality.